Hi Gemini, I'm going to be doing a self-love tarot reading. These are general messages. If it doesn't resonate with you this week, come back next week. Maybe I can help you then. These are self-love messages designed for Spirit to showcase areas where we might not be giving ourselves 100%, might be letting ourselves down a little bit, and areas where we can be more authentic with ourselves. A part of self-love is self-acceptance, and it's hard to accept parts of ourselves that we are not willing to acknowledge. I accept parts of ourselves. I should just do these videos in my regular voice and talk to y'all like this. But Gemini, I have already started to shuffle, and I do a 6-card spread. 7th card I always do is Spirit Message. We can shuffle like one more time, then we'll just go ahead and get started. Alrighty, I'm gonna stop. So in this first position, Gemini, it's gonna be how you feel, or maybe where you are right now. In the second position, it's gonna be something that Spirit wants you to prioritize. In this third position, it's going to be something where Spirit wants you to put more energy. Maybe this is something you thought to yourself, well, I don't really have time to deal with, or I'm just going to put it off on the back burner, I'm going to deal with it later. And Spirit's saying, deal with it now, you got to pick it up. In the fourth position, it's going to be something that Spirit wants you to acknowledge, to be more authentic with yourself. We all are multifaceted. There is a whole lot of things going on underneath, and Spirit just wants us to be more authentic with that. And the fifth position is to be something Spirit wants you to let go of. And in the sixth position, it's going to be something Spirit wants you to acknowledge. It's going to be something that's in your environment that maybe you didn't notice or you didn't know was for you. And in the seventh position, like I said, is Spirit Message. I'm sorry. It's a beautiful day and people are mowing. But we can get started, Gemini. Let's see, how are you feeling? Oh, great. Gemini, you're feeling a sense of defeat. Evil. Oh, I'm sorry. It says evil because it's reversed in my thing. It says the 5 of Swords. It doesn't say evil also. I'm just blind. I'm so sorry. So right now, Gemini, you're feeling a sense of defeat. You were not the girl standing. You were the guy down here with the swords. Whoever this is, the universe maybe, or another person, has made you feel really crummy. You're not feeling your best right now. You're feeling like maybe you've lost something. But the universe wants you to prioritize some kind of research. This card is the 6 of Wands, or 6 of Swords. This is usually, or traditionally, it's like that representation of like moving towards calmer waters. But here I don't see that. Here the card says science. And all 6 of these swords, which is implied communication or intelligence or movement. So I always think science. There's 6 of them and they're all focused towards this one thing, all looking for one thing, research. Universe is saying you're in the sense of defeat right now, but what they want you to prioritize is some kind of research. Maybe to research to get you out of this funk, or maybe out of a situation. And something the universe says that you should make more time for or deal with now is art or temperance. Temperance to me, and if you see it here, there's this real nice sense of balance. Balance. I'm not going to be able to get rid of it all this whole time, Gemini. But if you look, there's the yin and the yang symbol in the sky, and then they've balanced out the colors, and then again with the regular or traditional sort of temperance, their foot is in the water and on land. So I think here, universe is saying, yeah, maybe you did suffer a tower moment or like a test, and instead of dwelling on that, they want you to go ahead and start figuring out how to take the next step. Or maybe, with all due respect, Gemini, maybe you failed a test, That's kind of what I see here, is like this sense of studying and this sense of like getting a better handle on it. Maybe you tried something and you were defeated, right? Maybe you tried something that didn't work out. And here's Spirit is saying, actually, what you need to do is you need to study harder. Because if we fail a test, in life, not in school, we just kind of keep repeating the same lesson until we pass the test. So universe is saying, hey, you need to study up and you need to get more balance on the situation. Maybe you understand one aspect, but you really need to get both aspects of this. The universe wants you to acknowledge part of yourself is balanced. Yeah, that's great. Look at this justice, okay? Here we see this balance. This feather represents the purity, and this heart represents what you want. And so it's supposed to be this like juggling between what your heart wants and what your intentions are. Is what your heart wants in alignment or in balance with what your actions look like? And here we see that maybe that's not necessarily the case. Because if you do want to succeed, then you would be doing this research and, coming into just filling both sides of your knowledge, right? The universe says that you're going to need to let go of the tower. There we go. Okay. So something happened here, Gemini, which I did kind of mention. And maybe because of whatever this tower was, you weren't prepared, or, maybe it took more than you thought, or maybe it was bigger than you thought it was going to be. Maybe you just weren't ready, okay? So maybe you didn't pass this universal test. And the universe is saying, yes, that's true, but don't dwell on that. As Dumbledore says, it doesn't do well to dwell on the past, Harry. It doesn't do well to dwell on the past, Harry. Oh, that sounds more like Hagrid. I'm not really good at accents. But the universe wants you to acknowledge this Princess of Swords, okay? So somewhere in your environment is like a new connection, some kind of curiosity or some kind of impulse you have towards new ideas. Fragile, little baby ideas, but there is something new in your environment, okay? The message from Spirit is this Eight of Wands, swiftness. So maybe you thought, okay, so I failed this test and now I'm super upset and I'm gonna have to wait like 6 months to be tested again. But I don't see that. I actually see that coming really back really quickly now. If you look, those Eight of Wands are all flying towards her and she's having to defend herself, which again reminds me of a test. Maybe there was actually a test in your environment, Gemini, and you didn't do very well. Or maybe you didn't do how you felt like you would do. But I'm definitely seeing here some kind of universal test, and you did not pass. Now, I'm not laying any judgment. There are many reasons why you wouldn't be ready. There's so many reasons. There's so many things. And then I don't know about you, but Gemini, I'm always like really, really worried that I'm not making the right choice. And a lot of the time I second guess my intuition. That could be one of the reasons. Maybe you overslept, that could be a reason. Maybe you just, maybe you didn't have the confidence that you have now. For whatever the reason, we didn't pass this test. And the universe is saying, yeah, the universe isn't mad. The universe would never punish you, okay? So we move forward based on our choices. Our reality is comprised of our choices. If for whatever the reason we didn't pass the test, it doesn't mean that we chose not to pass the test. It could just mean that we were not ready for that particular test. I'm sorry, my nose itches. I'm outside. The universe is saying that you need to get ready. You need to start studying. You need to start really embracing both aspects, both sides of whatever it was, because you yourself are like very balanced, okay? You're very fair. The universe is saying that you need to embrace this aspect of yourself, and maybe that's why you didn't pass in the first place. I talk often about duality, and I can almost guarantee that it's going to come up in this reading because we have the Temperance, and if you see there already, you have that sense of duality. See how one part of the sky is blue and one part of the sky is white, and then you have the yin and yang symbol, and the yin and yang is 100% a representation of duality because it's all about evil and goodness, or light and dark in the universe, or masculine and feminine, or anything that's like different ends of the spectrum. There's all these wavelengths of energy, and everything has energy, and everything is a wavelength, and when we can accept that everything operates on its own wavelength and that there's no separation between the two things, that's that sense of duality. So I can be a very masculine woman, and that's duality, or I can be a very masculine person in one situation and very feminine in another situation. That's me embracing both aspects of myself. But I think that this test is coming up again for you, and I think it's coming fast. And that you're going to have to be ready, more ready than the last time. Sorry, I just dropped all my cards. For the Five of Swords. Yeah, okay, so I kind of see that too. Defeat. So there was a defeat, and it's followed by this masculine energy. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put her inside real quick or she'll whine. Pop it in. Pop it in. Go. Sorry about that. This masculine energy. And so what I see here is like maybe this sense of defeat comes from something you didn't do. And I think that because the masculine energy is all about going after things. So maybe there was someone in your environment, or maybe there was an opportunity presented to you and you didn't take it. The second card out, duality. Okay, I was talking about this. So if you're sad over something you didn't go after, that means that you knew what you wanted. Okay, so here's this duality, masculine and feminine energy, not females and males. Okay, just so we're clear on that. If there's something that you knew you wanted, it means that you were in alignment at that time with your feminine energy. When we know that we want something, when we are in touch with our feelings, we're in our feminine energy. When we go after what we want, we're in our masculine energy. And here, this is a sense of duality over the defeat card. And so what I'm seeing is maybe you didn't go after what you wanted, and that's where that sense of defeat comes from, being not in the masculine energy. So Swords is saying, we should research that. We should look into that. Why did you not go after what you wanted? Is that a pattern? Is that a habit? Or does that stem from like a sense of belief? There are many reasons why we wouldn't go after what we want. Maybe we feel like we're not good enough. That's something I've come into contact often. I personally think I'm amazing. I'm like top tier. But that's just because of my positive self-concept. Lots of people have negative self-concepts. And because of that, they have this sense of belief that like they are only good for what they can do for other people. And unfortunately, they were taught that at a young age. And they're not. You're not. You're amazing for all kinds of reasons, Gemini. But accepting that part of yourself, or acknowledging that you might feel like that too, is a belief, and we have to look into those beliefs. Why do you feel that way? Universe is saying that because of whatever has happened, we really do need to be researching and looking more heavily into, what's going on with you. And I think that one of the things you need to look into is not reunion of souls. I don't do soul or soulmate readings or relationship readings. This is my Horcrux card. If you don't know what that is, I really should do a video on my like a dictionary, a dictionary video, or just like make up a thing for this. But we learn as we grow that in order to survive, we have to give of ourselves, either our energy, our time, our emotions. Or we learn that people are dangerous and we should not give it all. And unfortunately, most of us learn those two things. Or we are lucky enough to grow up in a secure environment where we can develop a secure attachment style. I don't think you'd be here if that was the case, so I won't really go off of that. But because we learn those patterns, when we get older, we become somebody who is a people pleaser, or maybe somebody who is emotionally distant. And learning self-love is really to change those patterns, change those habits, so that we're not only giving, or we're not only receiving, but we can give and receive. Reunion of souls, to me, is that energy coming back to you, learning how to do both of those things. Reuniting with parts of your soul that you've given away over time. This says integration, and I firmly believe this is like integration of those soul aspects. Universe says that they really want you to prioritize or deal with this temperance right now, this balance, right? So if you didn't pass the test before, maybe you didn't go after what you wanted, you really have to figure out how to integrate that masculine and feminine energy. And we have integration here, and then we have this art, this temperance, this balance, okay? And balance is really like a sense of duality. It's the same thing. Forgiveness, yeah. So go ahead and just forgive yourself, Gemini. I'm a huge fan of self-forgiveness. I think it's such a big deal. I think like even in times where we make huge mistakes, we could only deal with situation in the way that we dealt with it in that moment. I'm really sorry. There is no time machine. There is no portal. There's no second chance. No over button. There's no, portal gun from Rick and Morty. Like, you can't redo things. So what we do is we say, you know, I'm really sorry that's the way things happened. And then any apology, any real apology, promises changed behavior. So I'm really sorry that's the way things happened. In the future, I promise to be more discerning. I promise to be braver. I promise to be more courageous. I promise to be, you know, more respectful. Whatever it is you promise to be more of. And then hold yourself accountable to that in the future. Self-forgiveness is so big because it allows us emotional space from things. Let's say that in the past, you know, maybe you had a best friend, and for whatever reason, you and your best friend really got into like a fight. Really just, you know, just got into a fight. You know, kids do that. And you were really mad at them, and now you just don't have that best friend. And so you grow up thinking that if you know, have a best friend again, you guys might fight and you'll just never have a best friend. And that was years ago. There's really nothing you can do about it, but you want friends now. You know, you're lonely now. Forgive yourself. Like, even if you never talked to that other person, forgive yourself. You were younger then, and like, you don't know what you know now. You don't know how to deal with situations like you do now. You don't have to continue to believe that you will only ever be able to operate in the same way. By forgiving ourselves and understanding that if the situation were to happen again, you would act in a different way, allows us to give ourselves space from that. The more that we consider the more that we kind of believe that we can't change, we get ourselves stuck in this belief that situations won't change. If the same thing happens again, I will only be able to handle it this way. So let's say, you know, maybe you have a crush on somebody. I'm really sorry, but my nose is like super duper itchy. Say you have a crush on somebody like in elementary school, and you tell them, oh, I like you, and they say, well, you're funny looking and I don't like you. Well, then maybe in high school you're afraid to tell your crush that you like them, and so you don't. And then in college you meet somebody and they're great, or like maybe after you graduate you meet somebody and they're great, but you're too scared again, and you tell yourself, oh, you know, I told myself in high school that I'd do it this time, but then you can't. There's no reason that we can't forgive ourselves and change those patterns and those habits. We can. We can make different choices every time, okay? Yeah, new beginnings. We can have different versions of new scenarios all the time. We just have to give ourselves permission. Universe is saying that you need to give yourself permission to acknowledge that you can be fair and balanced, or that there can be balanced energy in the universe. Just because something bad happened once does not mean that it's going to continue to happen the same way over and over and over again, Gemini, okay? Divine timing, right? So here we see that there will be justice in the situation. Universe wants you to acknowledge that there is balance in you, but maybe you just like, you know, you're just not quite there yet. I always think of divine timing as just like a download, you know, or someone coming in your life and they say one small thing that seems like nothing to them, but is actually like the most profound thing you've ever heard. And you're like, whoa, and they're like, it's not that deep. And you're like, oh yeah, we'll write it down real quick. Yeah. Perception. There we go. See, it's just your perception of events. It's so funny sometimes, you know, that we get really in our heads about things, and then it turns out to not be what we thought, right? Maybe our significant others, they have to text us in like 2 days, which is really out of character for them. And then when we finally talk to them, they're just like, oh my god, my phone broke down, my car broke down, my dog was shot, you know, they just had this terrible time. And the whole time we were thinking, oh, they don't love me anymore. But really, it was really about them. There's a lot of times where, you know, we just don't see everything that's going on, and so we perceive something one way. Like this tower. We perceive, your perception is that this is what happened the one time, and so this is what's going to happen every time. But we don't have to think like that. We have to have self-love, give ourselves emotional space, give ourselves the benefit of the doubt by being in touch with our emotions. By being in touch with our emotions and going after the things that we want, right? I think that the universe wants you to let go of this tower to find more self-love. This tower is what's really like keeping you from moving forward, but you have to let go of it. And I think that like because of this tower, it's easier to see the truth now, or this tower has something to do with the truth. I always see the eagle, and I think of what we, you know, here in America, we use the eagle as a symbol of truth. That's true, but we also see it as a symbol of freedom. And then that old saying, the truth will set you free. So maybe there was this tower moment, and whatever it was revealed to you how things actually are, not the way that we tend to see them. Now there's this truth, and maybe the truth was hard. So yeah, maybe whatever happened did have more to do with you than with someone else. And I feel like sometimes, in tarot, or just like when we're listening to our friends or whatever, we make allowances. We say, okay, well, this was the situation and you handled it the best you could, which you did, right? But that doesn't mean that the best way that you could handle the situation wasn't actually wrong. I've handled myself I've handled so many things wrong, but I've also learned to grow from those situations. I was once 16. And the things that I would do, they're not good stories. They don't make me seem like a good person, because I wasn't at the time. But, when we can admit that, when we let our pride down, we let our ego down enough to admit that, we give ourselves opportunities for room to change and grow. And that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. The universe says that in your environment, you have curiosity or movement towards new ideas, okay? You want to move forward. I see that. But it's like a little bit of wanting. So maybe you still think that whatever happened, you deserve to be punished for, okay? Or you're holding yourself back in some way because you feel like you didn't do your best in the beginning. But the universe is saying, hey, you have all these inklings towards, some kind of new beginning or some kind of desire to move in a new direction. Acknowledge that and work for that, because this is going to lead to your growth, okay? You're going to be able to move away from this situation or move away from this tower. Yeah, this is just the universe teaching you, okay? This is just, you have to, like I said in the beginning, this is probably you having gone through a tower or through a lesson or through a test, and you just didn't pass the test. Okay, he's moving away from us. You didn't pass the test, and so you're relearning. And so the universe is just teaching you again that you shouldn't let the tower hold you back, okay? Because instead of focusing on the tower, we should be doing the research and getting ready to take the test again. The universe is saying it's coming with a swiftness, and then there you are defending yourself, okay? So maybe in the past, whatever you didn't do, whatever sense of defeat, whatever sense of research or whatever sense of balance that you didn't have, the universe is saying ooh, get it ready. Yeah, abundance, okay? When you overcome this test, when you overcome whatever this period is, you're going to find more abundance in your environment, material abundance. I have this ongoing theory about how our connection to ourselves really does lead to our connection with other things too. This is the card of creativity. This is my last card for you, Gemini, and I just really feel like this is a card about if you haven't learned to deal with these things in the past, it's going to take a lot of creative thinking to be ready to deal with them soon. I wish I could help you. My email address is in the box below. Email me. I can send you a free pre-recorded one. My schedule is just kind of all over the place right now, and I don't want to have people be like, oh, well, I have, you can choose 8:30 this morning, or you can choose 7:45 over here. That's pretty much what my schedule's like. So, yeah, if you need help with this, I can help you, but let's just do a quick recap, okay? I find right now that you were in this defeated sense of energy, and I said because it probably has to do with this tower that the universe wants you to let go of, okay? We said this could be a lesson, or maybe just a test that you went through and you just weren't ready, or you weren't prepared for whatever the reason. And universe is saying that's fine, it's okay. You just need to get ready. You just need to get prepared. You need to put in the time and the effort and the energy and the research, and really get to know both sides of whatever it is. Really get a sense of balance, and that you need yourself to integrate that sense of balance, okay? This could be integrating your masculine and feminine energies. You got that masculine card, so maybe you knew what you wanted, but you didn't go after it. And so the universe is saying you have to integrate both those things, get balance on the situation, know what you want, and go after it. We said that the truth here is part of whatever happened. Part of this tower was the truth. And now that, you know, you've been through it, the universe is saying that you're going to get tested again. So you need to be ready, okay? So really look at what you've come through. Really look at what happened. What can you learn from that? I hope this helps, Gemini. I really hope you have a good day.